Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the sixth week of the LCUS. My name is Kenos, joined for this first set of games by Jeff. How's it going, Jeff?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Doing all right. Happy to be back. We got our first set of games here, White Wolf versus Blitzkrieg. We'll pop in the standings real quick. Give us a rundown here. Option 12 is on bye this week, so they have a possibility of either losing or ending up tied for first place, depending on how the games work out. White Wolf could jump up to second as well. You think Blitzkrieg is going to be in first at the end of this week, Jeff?
Honestly, I guess no. I think if I had to predict, I'd say we're gonna get a 1-1 here. I think
Okay.
these are both two pretty good teams, with different styles. The one thing is we do have a sub mid laner. We have Tentacle subbing in for Primeden, so we'll see if White Wolf can make that adjustment and still play well enough.
Yeah, I mean that obviously is the big question. Losing bans because it was such a last minute um, switch in there, but we'll see what Tentacle can bring out that might shape up or shake up White Wolf's game plan and Blitzkrieg's reaction to it.
Particularly with the mid lane. Blitzkrieg has been a very mid lane oriented team. Exia has been sort of as Exia goes, so goes the team. Where when he gets off to a flying start, we see Blitzkrieg, live up to their name and blitz people and run over them in a snowbally fashion. But when you can contain Exia, it seems like the team doesn't really know what to do, how to make plays after that.
Yeah, I would agree. Top laner, or washed up top laner, I should say, typically does very well, but even so, he hasn't really ever seemed to be in a position to put the team on his back,
Hmm.
and that just seems to interfere with their game plan. But we'll see how it goes this time. Since Tentacle is a newcomer to the LCUS, not really too in the know of knowing how he'll match up against Exia.
Yeah, we'll see. If I'm not mistaken, White Wolf. How many bans will they be losing here?
One or two.
Okay.
Don't have the exact ruling in
The
front of me.
the Z ban is certainly something that makes sense. We've seen Exia perform very well on that so far this split.
Yeah, Exia definitely, like you said, not only does he put the team on his back from a perspective, but his playstyle is very much in at least what Blitzkrieg's name, if not their performance states, where he just comes in quickly and kills you.
Yep.
A lot of targeted jungle things against Spicy Hot Meme, as expected. Depending,
Second assassin goes away.
yeah, depending how well Tentacle does, I'm gonna imagine Blitzkrieg will shake up their bans a little bit. But since the mid's lane is unknown, let's just keep kicking Spicy Hot Meme. He'll run out of champions eventually. Yeah. We'll see what the first pick is here, if White Wolf lets them keep picking on Meme, or if they try to grab something for him right away. A lot of his champions are still available. He's got Nunu as an option, Pantheon.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you try to pick away maybe the Ari or something here.
No.
Nope, Scion a contested pick between Bacon Wishes and Washed Up, so that makes sense as well.
It is worth noting that Renekton is still available. Washed up
Yep,
top
and
laners.
there it is.
There we go. Alright, so crocodiles come to town. And
And Kaisa is a favorite of Meta Get Luckies.
yep. Definitely fits his play style, rushing in, doing stuff. Alright. So let's see what happens with these next couple of picks. Whether or not Meme locks something up, and if we learn anything about Tentacle's playstyle as well. Um, Alistar, that's someone that I believe my chain has used before.
Mm-hmm. Comfortable pick there.
Yeah, I mean, if I was,
And it looks like they are going to take away the Ari, which I think is smart.
yeah.
Not sure. Once again, we don't know very much about Tentacle, but I would assume that they're adequate on that champion if they pick it, and also to keep it away from Exia.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they picked Kaisa second.
Mm-hmm.
Exia obviously has a champion pool that they're very comfortable with, but at the same time, that Ari was available and is such a strong character for them.
And also, I don't believe I've seen Arcane Soda play Kaisa too much this split. So I'm not sure that you really needed to be afraid of White Wolf prioritizing it if you would have waited till the next rotation.
Mhm.
But picks up the Talon. So still an assassin. I like the Xayah ban there because I think that's one of Arcane Soda's best champions.
I'm expecting the last ban to be another jungler then. I do kind of like leaving Spicy Hot Meme until the second round. Spicy Hot Meme typically does like to counterpick junglers if he can.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but I mean, if they're going to focus on him so much, that takes focus away from other lanes.
Yeah, I think Spicy Hot Meme is one of, if you asked me to name, a carry jungler in the LCUS, I would, Spicy Hot Meme would certainly be one of the first ones I'd think of. When you think of White Wolf, there are some teams where the jungler is sort of, a supportive role, and then there are some teams where the jungler is, really the playmaker. And Spicy Hot Meme is certainly one of the main playmakers for this team. And as you predicted, it was another jungle ban.
Alright, so we'll see if they decide to give Meme that counter pick. I don't think they should. I think they should pick support here and leave the jungle for last. But we'll see what they decide to go with. Because a support pick here won't give too much away.
Yeah, the risk that you run is potentially with so many junglers being banned out already between the two teams. It's 5 total. If you don't pick the jungle now, you risk maybe your last comfortable jungler is taken away.
We do see
So,
Wukong. I think this might be one of the first
jungle.
LCUS Wukongs.
I do enjoy Wukong. Very, very fun, creative champion. The clone jukes have always been one of the funniest things in the game to watch.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they're able to pull any of that off. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing Meme would fall for, but he also has gone on record saying that if any meme happens, it would happen to him.
And it would be spicy. So Tristana for Arcane Soda.
Jarvan, of course, a pick that is still readily available and very comfortable for everyone in the LCUS, I think. I mean, there were also plenty of others. I mean, there was Sejuani was still available, Zac. Maybe doesn't play into the play style of these junglers as much, but the pool was definitely not empty.
This is very interesting because we talked about Blitzkrieg having this go-go-go style, but White Wolf, they brought a ton of initiation to the table here as well. Basically everyone but Tristana can start a fight at a moment's notice.
Well, even Tristana can jump in. It's not the smartest
Sure.
thing in the world, but
Yeah, not necessarily the right way to start a fight, but yeah, fair point. And on the side of Blitzkrieg, though, you also have a ton of initiation. All those guys can jump in. Even Kaisa can jump in from distance if she wants to. So probably some explosive fights here. This is another situation where I think you have to really appreciate the versatility of Kaisa in terms of being able to build AP or AD.
yeah,
Because,
especially with this team, like you're saying.
yeah, you would have gone if you had an AD carry, a traditional AD carry here, you'd really be trying to whack down a Scion with 400 armor by 30 minutes.
I'm not a huge fan of Blitzkrieg's lineup here. I mean, obviously, they have a lot of burst potential. They have a lot of CC. But Leona, at least in the last couple of weeks that we've seen her, has not been able to get that durable.
Mm.
So, I mean, the only real tank they have, and he's even just an off tank, is our good buddy, the Alligator.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas on White Wolf, they have 2 very powerful tanks.
I'm wondering if if Sick Nasty J-Dog will also build Wukong as sort of an off tank. With Wukong's passive, he does get tanky in team fights sort of naturally, but yeah, certainly he won't be the same level of tanky as a Scion or even an Alistar with the ultimate available. I agree with you that Blitzkrieg's team comp seems a little strange, but at the same time, we've seen them pull off comps like this
Oh,
in
for
the
sure.
past.
Yeah, I mean, like you've said before, Exia gets going, and it doesn't matter what your team comp is. Um, so we'll have to see how the lanes play out. Obviously, Spicy Hot Meme is a very good ganking jungler. With that Jarvan, especially, can get a lot of stuff done. Talon doesn't have the most maneuverability in the world, so if he gets caught, he may be in trouble. I guess it depends how close he is to a wall.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, at the moment, I like White Wolf a whole lot better. Everyone knows that I'm a big fan of tankiness, CC, all that fun stuff. And I mean, just beyond the on paper look, I just I feel a little more comfortable with White Wolf's team, but we'll see what happens with Renekton and Talon in Blitzkrieg.
Hmm. Yeah, certainly I would agree if, in terms of just straight up what team comp looks more balanced. What's the kind of team comp you would want your team to pick if you were playing like a solo queue game? This is what I'd like to see. Um, the real wild card for me, I guess, what it really comes down to is how does Tentacle perform,
Hmm.
and how does White Wolf, how well does White Wolf understand what their new sub or not new sub mid laner is capable of?
Right.
Knowing
Yeah.
how to play together is so important in this game.
I think J Dog's Wukong also be a factor because since he's not the most common thing in the LCUS,
Hmm.
might be able to pull off some stuff there. Especially depending on where the fights happen. We've seen quite a few games where if the fights end up in very close spaces, certain champions excel far more than others. And Wukong is one of those that really excels in those tight spaces.
Yeah, it will be tricky for J Dog as well, though, because presumably, his targets for that Cyclone are going to be Tentacle and Arcane Soda. Both of them are able to get out of that Cyclone.
Hmm.
They both have, the jump and the Spirit Rush. So we'll see if he's able to maybe hold on to that Cyclone until those abilities are used, or maybe he can just get on them and there'll be just enough time for Exia to get in and blow someone up or something like that.
Yeah. Well, one thing's for sure: with all the mobility, we'll have a lot of crazy fights. All right. Well, we're going into our first Nero Skin showdown. Remind everyone, Nero LARP is a live-action role-playing organization with communities all over the U.S. If you're interested, please visit nerolarponline.com for more info. A lot of potential for good skins here. I'm liking Blitzkrieg.
See. Yeah, Blitzkrieg is pretty solid, and I feel like there was some planning going on there.
Yeah, they all seem to have kind of similar, at least visual design, if not.
Yeah. Yeah. For White Wolf, not bad. Mukau Alistar, Arcade Ari, good skins, but Blitzkrieg just with that looks like coordination. I think they take this one.
Hmm. Especially because like it's not the Scion everyone likes, right? It's not the Scion everyone likes. It's not the most common Tristana. I have no strong opinions on Jarvan skins, but here we are.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember when that Jarvan skin came out maybe 4 years ago, and it was super cool. Everybody was crazy about it, but it's really sort of been outdated since then.
Seems the chat still doesn't want to turn off. That's fine.
All right, pretty quick load.
All right, and then of course as we're going into this, thank you to Foster Adventure for sponsoring this first set of games. Foster Adventure sponsoring the lives of teens in care by funding various social and athletic opportunities, as well as educational options. Donate today at fosteradventure.org.
30 seconds until
Help out
minions
some
spawn.
kids.
Pretty passive openings from both teams. Everyone just kind of guarding the entrances to their jungles.
Yep.
Now, obviously, we've talked about how, we might not be too familiar with Wukong as a champion, but I feel pretty confident in saying that Jarvan's going to have the early pressure advantage compared to a Wukong.
Minions have spawned.
Probably. Like you said, Wukong does have a bit more of that natural durability.
Yeah. Jarvan just, he gains access to hard crowd control earlier than Wukong. Wukong doesn't get that till level 6. Their gap closing abilities are somewhat similar. So I would expect to see J-Dog maybe he'll look for a counter gank or something, but otherwise I would imagine he'll mostly just be trying to farm up, get to level 6, use that Cyclone somewhere.
Yeah, I mean they definitely need to keep an eye out for both of these casters, or not casters, junglers, to see how it works out for them. We do know Spicy Hot Meme is really good at those rotations. invades, all that kind of good stuff you got to look out for.
Yeah, very good map awareness. Leona into Alistar has always been an interesting matchup to me in the bottom lane because it's so dangerous for the Leona to go in with the Zenith Blade because you can potentially just get, you know, pulverized, headbutted back, and end up on the complete opposite side of the lane. It looks like we have an early gank coming in from Spicy Hot Meme. Flag and Drag is going to be available. Oh, there's the pulverize right away. Flash is forced out, and Spicy Hot Meme, I actually don't know if he had the mana to follow up with the Q there.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
get the flash out of Lopi Senpai, so I guess worth.
yeah, they did get the flash, like you said. The nice thing about your concerns about Leona is that while it is dangerous for her to go in, she does have the stun available, of course. So you can go in and interrupt any sort of combo potential. And on top of that, you know, it's better that the Alistar do it against you than your ADC.
Sure, of course.
So that's that little trade-off.
So it looks like the jungler is now going to trade Scuttle Crab. So Maya-chan goes back in and loses that trade by a little bit. Arcane Soda trades. Oh, actually gets a lot of auto attacks with that explosive charge down. Ends up winning that trade for White Wolf.
Oh, we have a attempt to get Spicy Hot Meme here.
Oh boy, yeah. Quick invade from Blitzkrieg, the top side. Spicy Hot Meme forced to flash over, and now Exia is onto Sexual Tentacle. He can't quite get the last auto attack down, but flashes are traded. Ignite Burn.
Here comes
from
Cyan.
Exia.
Oh, he gets the blue buff.
J-Dog and just unable to secure that one. So Blitzkrieg, big aggression right away from this team that is sitting in second in the standings. We're first until last week. And Bacon Wish with that blue buff, that's going to be annoying for washed up top laner. A Scion with infinite mana can just be so pokey, so durable. Put down that knock up all the time up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that mana cost can seem a little rough, but you know, if you spec for it, especially now with that blue buff, it is not going to matter at all. Probably give the edge that Baconlicious needs up there against top laner in the early game here.
Yeah, he'll definitely be loving having that blue buff.
As you said before, I'm interested to see if Gotta Get Lucky takes advantage of the AP ability of Kai'Sa to spec, or if he just goes straight AD and hopes for the best.
I would think he has to go AP. I mean, you'd be having 4 straight AD characters there. I mean, I guess Kai'Sa has naturally a little bit of magic damage, no matter how you build her, but the tricky part is, even if you build her AP, she's still auto-attack based. So something like a Thornmail or a Frozen Heart is still affected by that, even if you're, you know, building magic damage.
Right. So it'd be more like the magic damage of an Ezreal.
Oh, J-Dog goes down in the jungle. Unfortunate there. So the Wukong jungle pick, not great so far. Of course, it is early.
It's okay, J-Dog. No one saw that. We were not looking at it. You're fine.
All the lanes are extremely even in terms of CS right now. Nobody's opened up a gap at all.
Yeah, it is very impressive that both teams.
Oh, jumping on to Gotta Get Lucky to get the explosive charge down, and oh my gosh, Arcane Soda going all the way in. Lopi Senpai gonna lock him down with the Zenith Blade.
Yeah.
Aggressive play from White Wolf down there.
Good play by Blitzkrieg to get out of it, though. Gotta Get Lucky used the little dash, and Senpai kept him busy.
And to not, you know, panic flash or even panic heal in that situation shows some good discipline there.
I think J-Dog should go for this.
Yeah, looks like they're trying to bait him in. Exia is nearby, but here's Tentacle as well on the side.
Alright.
The Crab did go over to J-Dog, so
Yeah.
light little victory there.
Landed the smite for it.
And Luffy Senpai will find a pink ward for his trouble.
Try one more time to turn off chat. No. No. Okay. Well, we're trying, and that's all we can do. Alright, so Meme is now taking his not yet close to 6. Got about 90% of the way to go there. So little safety before the big cataclysms start coming out.
So top laner up here has managed to stay even, actually slightly ahead in CS. despite having to deal with that blue buff Scion early on, but not entirely surprising given that Renekton is just so strong in lane early on, and washed up top laner is so well versed on this champion. Spicy Hot Meme going low in the jungle this time, but he's able to finish up the red buff.
It also helps washed up top laner that Baconlicious is focusing on his Q first. So those E's for the blue buff were not anywhere near strong enough to be more than just a nuisance, even if there were a lot of them. Which, of course, that patch to Scion a month or two ago that did that is exactly what they intended. Maybe it was longer. Feels like it was only a couple of months.
So far, Tentacle has been standing up just fine to Exia's aggression and pressure that this guy likes to throw out.
Yeah, Exia hasn't really been going too deep just yet.
Yeah, we had the one trade of flashes, but nothing came of that. Gold Flash is about to be back up. Exia's Ignite is back up from that trade as well. And here comes Spicy Hot Meme. They're looking for it. Charm doesn't land, so that'll be an immediate abort on the plan.
And if that Charm had landed, that would have been very painful for Blitzkrieg with Flash just about off cooldown, 6 seconds.
Yeah, that was... You have to imagine White Wolf were timing that Flash too correctly, since it was synchronized with Tentacles. They must have known. Not sure if that would have been a kill anyways, because Tentacle was very low on mana. I don't know if he could have added any more damage.
That's true, but on the other hand, Talon is very squishy.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, Jarvan does tons of damage at this point in the game as well.
Yeah, the lack of kills is also very notable here.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like no one's even really gotten close to dying. And, you know, we have very little in the way of farm advantages or disadvantages in any lane. It's a very, very even game so far.
Yeah, despite the junglers poking their heads in a couple of times, this feels very much like a game where everyone's just trying to play safe. I don't think we've seen J-Dog. I mean, obviously he died in the jungle, but I don't think we saw him really go for any lanes just yet. I think he's trying to hit a certain power spike.
Yeah, well, he does have the level 6 now at least, so, you know, probably wasn't even really thinking about ganking before that with no crowd control. But now that he at least can go in and knock some folks up.
We'll see where he decides to go from here. Sexual Tentacle continues to have very low mana.
Yeah, gonna get that recall in now. It looks like Spicy Hot Meme actually ended up taking the second blue buff. So that's probably why Tentacle so low on mana. As a mid laner, you sort of expect to get the second blue buff, I think, but when it doesn't come, can be a little tricky. Looks like Tentacle was able to manage his resources, though. We do have J-Dog heading up towards the top lane, but a lot of vision there for White Wolf.
Yeah, not to mention washed up top laner was being rather aggressive.
Exia's coming too, though, so Baconlicious will have to play respectful here. Exia's actually going to head back down. We have a dive in the bottom lane, actually, and it's 3 members down here, but that's a stun under the tower. Arcane Soda forced to jump away, but gotta get lucky. Follows with the killer instinct. I don't know about that decision, my friend. Flash in from Arcane Soda, picks up first blood with the Buster shot, and that's just some over-aggression from Kaisa as they had survived the dive, almost turned it around, and then got greedy. Exia's here, though. He flashes in. He gets 1. Will he get 2? Yes, with the Ignite. He might go down to the turret. No, he will stay alive. Just barely. Spicy Hot Meme is on the chase. Here goes Tentacle. He gets in there with the Charm, trying to finish off Exia. They get him. Loki Senpai will drop as well. We were talking about how this game didn't have much action. It exploded right there.
One quick correction. It was not a dive under turret necessarily. They may have been setting up for one, but Leona went in on him first before they could execute it. So kind of interrupted whatever game plan that White Wolf was trying to provide there. But kind of turned around on him a little bit there. White Wolf getting the better end of the deal and Dragon.
Yeah, that's an interesting trade right there, because you do see that actually there's a fight up in the top lane, and Sick Nasty J-Dog is going to get that first Cyclone off onto Arcane Soda, but I don't think they quite have the damage to finish it off. So first Cyclone used, but we saw the rocket jump just able to disengage from it, as we sort of expected might happen during Champion Select.
Yeah, good rotations from both mid laners in that fight also. Both coming down with the right amount of tempo.
Yeah, I was saying, you know, White Wolf obviously came out the better overall when you just look at the numbers and things from that fight, but getting those 2 kills onto Exia is really going to unleash him, let him just start, you know, playing the way he wants to play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to see, ooh, gotta get lucky, takes a couple tower shots.
Yeah, I like this rotation from White Wolf as well. Swapping their bottom lane up to the top, trying to get the tempo advantage, some priority on potentially knocking down this first turret. Spicy Meme is in the bottom side jungle though, so they can't really threaten too much on washed up top laner, and J-Dog is heading that way as well.
I would like to see a little more wards out of Blitzkrieg in their own jungle. They know that that's something Spicy Meme likes to do, and they haven't really tried to catch him in the act, as it were.
Yeah, looks like there might be a 3-man gank coming down in the bottom lane. Unstoppable Onslaught is not available yet, but Tentacle has managed to sneak by, I think, into that Tribe Rush behind the turret. Spirit Rush available. Everything's available. They get in on, gotta get lucky. He knows he has no summoner spells. They're gonna take him down. Tentacle gets the kill. Now will they get one more? Unstoppable Onslaught under the turret. Bacon Wishes can take that up just long enough to get one more kill. Nice play in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, in the top lane, aggression from Blitzkrieg. They do get the first turret, but no kills on their side.
Yeah, that first turret, I think, is something they were really hoping to snag, and they do manage to just barely get it before their own turret dies.
And a correct rotation right over to the Rift Herald. Take as much as you can while you know most of their powers in the bottom lane.
They do see this happening, though. So we'll see if there is any response here. Here comes White Wolf, Maya Chan.
Yeah, Exia's actually left. So this is a 2-on-2 now. J-Dog pops the Cyclone again. They get in onto Arcane Soda. He has to jump into the pit, actually. This could be a dangerous situation. He has no summoner spells. They run him down pretty easily, but Arcane Soda actually stole the Rift Herald. Meanwhile, Exia picks up another kill in the bottom lane. I didn't see if Amaya-chan was actually able to pick up that eye.
It looked like he did.
Yes, he was. So they lose 2 kills in the top lane, but they take away the Rift Herald. Not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, the next dragon is going to be another Cloud Drake, so it might give Blitzkrieg a chance to build up some losses there, but losing the Rift Herald was a big deal.
Yeah, that hurts. Just knowing you were going to win that 2v2 and Arcane Soda just managing to take it right before he dies. Meanwhile, Exia getting that 3rd kill. I mean, this guy, when he gets fed, it's a scary situation for opponents.
Yeah, we'll see what they're able to do with that fed Exia. They do have the gold advantage because of those 2 towers. But I don't know. I mean, see, I still think like if they had some wards in their jungle, I feel like I'd still be a little bit more confident because there's going to be rotations coming soon.
We have seen White Wolf. They've been the ones sort of making the initial proactive plays most of the time. They haven't always gone exactly the way they planned, but I like to see a team that's, you know, willing to be the ones dictating play.
Yeah, I agree. Do have washed up top laner getting spotted in his rotation to mid lane. Mid turret still going strong. Top lane turret's alright, about half health. Got a aggressive push here from Arcane Soda and Amaya in the bot lane.
Yeah, and Exia is heading that way, so they're going to have to respect this. Talon can, you know, find routes through the jungle that get around your wards that you don't necessarily see, and so far he's gotten pretty close, and they don't know, and there's the Zenith Blade. They get in onto Arcane Soda, Exhaust goes down, Killer Instinct, and nice headbutt from Amaya-chan. Can they get out? No! Arcane Soda able to flash away from the Solar Flare, but I think Amaya-chan might be left for dead. He is. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Spicy Hot Meme goes down. They fail a dive under the turret. Here comes Unstoppable Onslaught. Wash up top laner is a bro and takes it for J-Dog, but goes down for it. So a true sacrifice, but a 2-for-1 across the map.
That was an interesting sacrifice there. I don't mind it, but it was more gold to White Wolf.
And they're going to get the tower up here as well. It looks like Blitzkrieg will answer with the tower in the bottom lane.
Maybe he
And
figured.
action-packed game. Both teams really just splitting it vertically.
Yeah, the last 7 minutes have really proven us wrong about what we said in the first 8. This stuff has really taken off. Something I guess when I was criticizing Wash Up top laner there, I think what I'll return to was maybe he figured if J-Dog died, they'd both end up dying, because then you'd have Sion pinning Renekton between the two.
I think that's a very valid point, because J-Dog goes down to the Sion ultimate if he gets hit, and then Wash Up top laner is stuck between the Ahri and the Sion anyways.
Alright, Dragon's up in 3 seconds, no vision on it. Here comes the Rift Herald.
This is a nice use of it too. Blitzkrieg is not going to be in a position to stop this very soon. And between the Rift Herald and the explosive charge, this turret is going to go down.
Washes up top laner, does have teleport available.
Yeah, Exia gets knocked up, but they don't go all in on the engage, and now Amaya-chan just gets destroyed. Arcane Soda steps too far forward. He gets knocked up by the Cyclone. There are both down. The bottom lane of White Wolf is destroyed. Now can Wolfie Senpai get away without trading one back? He is very low, but Tentacle won't go for it. Wash up top laner, a great flank in the back line. All of the carries for White Wolf are gone. Baconlicious and Spicy Ami just trying to run away. Nick Snashy J-Dog gets the slowdown onto Baconlicious. Can they slowly run down this Sion? Wolfie Senpai is almost in range for some CC. A nice knock up. The shield. Baconlicious turning it all around in the river. What a play from the Sion. Meanwhile, Spicy Amim is going to get out as well. A great save to that fight by the top laner of White Wolf.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a really questionable chase there. Sion, I mean, was only 1-0-1, but he also has so much more damage output.
Oh, and Gotta Get Lucky just stays around way too long by himself. Spicy At Meme comes out, destroys him. So that fight looked so good for Blitzkrieg, and then they just overreach in 2 different areas by 2 different players. Give so much back.
Too busy
and now
watching.
It's going to be White Wolf getting the Drake as well. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I was too busy watching Baconlicious do his victory lap to catch Gotta Get Lucky getting killed.
Yeah, Spicy At Meme just came back and just dropped him with the Cataclysm.
Like you do.
So White Wolf, second Cloud Drake. Cloud Drake not necessarily the most powerful, but if you use it correctly, it can certainly gain you some considerable advantages around the map.
Yeah, it'll definitely help with their rotations, if nothing else. Baron is up in 30 seconds. Got to get some vision on that. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting to take stock of just where the gold is on each team right now. For, you know, on the side of Blitzkrieg especially, you see Washed Up top laner and Exia have pretty much all the kills. Meanwhile, Gotta Get Lucky is struggling along. And as we've talked about, he is their only magic damage. So if he falls behind, it's going to be really, really hard to kill Baconlicious in any team fights.
Yeah, it's also interesting. It's also worth noting that where the kills are spread out, like you said, not only the gold, but the kills are also really important. Because sure, Gotta Get Lucky, like you said, is struggling quite a lot, but Arcane Soda isn't doing that great either.
Sure, yeah, very valid point.
You got Washed Up and Lofi Senpai on the run here. Got a lot of fear in Blitzkrieg at this game. I mean, obviously, it's a more or less equal game right now. You don't want to take any chances when the game is this close. But at the same time, I kind of wish Exia was more with his team than...
Oh, Exia's going for Arcane Soda. He gets into the mid lane. That is so much damage onto the Tristana. Able to jump away, but had to use the Buster Shot as well. Washed Up top laner was looking to see if he could pick off the AD carry of White Wolf, but doesn't quite get there. Mai-chan goes for the Pulverize, doesn't land it. Baconlicious is actually behind them right now. Now he's moving to rejoin his team.
That is a very important piece of information, though, that may lead to some overconfidence from White Wolf later, that Exia can't one-combo Arcane Soda. And maybe they'll think too much of that, and then Exia will surprise them.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Exia not throw down the Ignite there as well. I don't know if it would have been enough, but certainly would have been a lot closer.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, because of the way Blitzkrieg is acting, it really feels like White Wolf has all the tempo here. Which I don't think is that accurate a representation of the game, but That's the way that Blitzkrieg is treating this.
Yeah, we talked earlier about how, it has generally been White Wolf who have been the ones initiating plays. Blitzkrieg has been the more reactive team, and we haven't really seen White Wolf go for anything the last couple of minutes. So with those teams having those roles, it's meant that there hasn't really been much going on of late. J-Dog pick up his red buff. J-Dog is actually going pretty much full damage so far into his second item.
This is going to be interesting if they decide to go for this. It'll be a 3v5. They are going for it.
Yeah, and Arcane Soda has no way of joining. Baconlicious could teleport. So it'll be up to the 3-man squad of White Wolf to stall this out, maybe get a pick.
Teleport's
Tentacle
coming.
is looking for Gotta Get Lucky. He is going to find him, doesn't get the charm, but I think he can just kill him all by himself. Poor positioning there, as the rest of Blitzkrieg was not in any position to try to help their AD carry. Now Amaya-chan is going to get taken down by Exia. Tentacle is still at full health, still landing the spells. Washed up top laner, he cannot save this fight, just doesn't have the tools. Exia's on the backside. I don't know if he'll look for one more. No, he's just going to parkour his way away. Charm doesn't land. Flash forced by Exia, though, and Arcane Soda is still pushing in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and there we see my earlier concern about durability come into full effect. When your whole team doesn't have a full tank and someone jumps on you, you're all going to die at the same time, basically.
Yeah, I think that was there was sort of a split call there maybe from Blitzkrieg, because as soon as White Wolf moved into contest, as soon as Tentacle got close, Gotta Get Lucky just sort of bailed up towards the top side of the river. And even if someone on his team had wanted to help him, he was just too far away at that point for anyone to be able to get in the way of that Ahri.
Exia also started running before the fight was over, which is interesting that then he changed his mind and briefly considered going back in.
Yeah, maybe just waiting for the cooldowns to cycle. I'm not too familiar with Talon's cooldown timers, but very, very well played from White Wolf there, managing to not only stop the Baron, but get a ton of kills. They get the bottom lane inhibitor, which is just the best inhibitor to get at this point in the game. Gives you so much added pressure on Baron buff.
Now Lofi Senpai going in, trying to clear out some wards, gonna get caught.
Cataclysm is available for Spicy Hot Meme if he wants to go for it. They might not even need it to take down the support. In goes Tentacle, misses the charm, but there is the Cataclysm. J-Dog forced to flash away. Can Tentacle lands one more spell, they will get the jungler as well. So that is the support and the jungler of Blitzkrieg taken down, and White Wolf have full control over this game 24 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of this is probably because Exia isn't where his team is. He's been trying quite a lot to catch somebody out, to farm some more, to become more that hard carry that he knows he is. And unfortunately, that means that a lot of gold is not with his team.
Yeah, Blitzkrieg was very fractured in that fight. It was 2 or 3 members trying to run away, 2 or 3 trying to run to help, but no chance of saving that one.
And this will be White Wolf's easiest Baron of their lives.
Looks like Exia is going to try to pick someone off coming from the Baron pit.
No one decides to go that way, and he jumps right into all of them.
Yeah, this could be a bad time. Nope, Tentacle won't pull the trigger. They're looking for Gotta Get Lucky in the river. Or are they just looking for the Ocean Drake? Looks like that's the priority right now.
Got another one of those. Got another one of those polls for you. Gotta get lucky when you're watching this later. How many uncontested Barons? Who is the team with the most uncontested Barons? All right. So when you're Blitzkrieg in this situation, obviously you've been on your back foot for most of the game, mentally if not statistically, and now the opposing team has Baron. So you get in a very reactive state here.
Yeah, White Wolf, they're just going to have to be crisp with their rotations, because we've talked about how Exia is looking for those assassinations, looking for those picks. If he doesn't find one, if White Wolf can avoid that, I think they're in great shape in this game. They have, as we talked about earlier, the 2 Cloud Drakes that will make it easier to rotate between lanes as they push them up. It's going to be up to somebody on Blitzkrieg to make a play, make something happen.
Looks like they're planning to do a 4-1 here for White Wolf. Top laner going up to face the Scion. Scion, who is now at 3.5k. That tower's dead.
Arcane Soda just used his jump. I'm not sure if he was afraid of Loki Senpai jumping onto him, but looks like there won't be any threat on him until that comes back up.
Oh, they've changed their mind and just decided to take out this top turret now as well.
And Wopi Senpai walking in, gets the stun down onto Spicy Hot Meme, but now they're in on Watch Up top laner. Charm goes down on Wopi Senpai. The Leona is going to be deleted. Now it's up to J-Dog to get some work done with that Cyclone. They will get one back, but Watch Up top laner is going to go down. Exia got the shutdown onto Tentacle, but overall White Wolf, they are winning this fight in a big way again. Exia is taken extremely low, and Arcane Soda jumps in, takes him down, looking for one more. No, gotta get lucky, trades it back. Now it's up to Baconlicious to finish things off. That's a 5 for 4. That's about as bloody of a fight as you can have in League of Legends.
And that was really well done by Blitzkrieg there, I would say. They almost got away with it, except for that last pixel on Scion's Q that knocked up Exia.
Yeah, pretty good fight from both sides. I feel like Blitzkrieg, given the situation, actually played that fight better overall, but White Wolf just so far ahead in terms of both gold and position.
And
able
Winions.
to finish up, and they get a Nexus turret as well.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, regardless of how well that fight was going for Blitzkrieg or White Wolf just needed to stall. And they did, and they got a couple turrets for it.
The inhibitor has come back up for Blitzkrieg, so they won't be dealing with that constant pressure of super minions, but the base is not so much in shambles yet, but close to it.
Yeah,
2 inhibitor towers gone, 1 Nexus turret gone.
Seen better days. Still, despite being that far, that much in the hole, they're still only at a 4,000 gold deficit.
Yeah, it's not, monumental, and it's, it was very big. That Gotta Get Lucky was able to get that kill onto Arcane Soda before going down at the end of that fight, because if Arcane Soda lives, I think that they're able to actually end the game there.
More than likely. Tristana is very good at killing towers after all. Alright, big rotation here from White Wolf in the bot lane. Looking to close this out, I think.
Exia is going in onto Baconlicious, but doesn't take any damage, does the Scion.
A lot of armor.
They're being collapsed upon. They're looking for Exia. They get a lot of CC down onto him. He has to pop the ultimate defensively.
Probably needs to keep running.
Yeah, well done by White Wolf there, just making sure that there's no way that Talon can get in onto the back line. And now they get the initiation onto J-Dog. Charm lands from Tentacle. J-Dog is going to go down, gets the Cyclone off, but it doesn't do much. Arcane Soda goes in, looking for the kill on to Gotta Get Lucky. Stopwatch pop, but it's not enough. Now Loki Senpai going to drop. Wash up top laner to drop. Exia finally got back to base, but it's too late. This is going to be game 1, going over to White Wolf.
Yeah, very well played by White Wolf this game. Can talk a little bit more about what Blitzkrieg should probably do different once the bell rings.
Yeah, I think just, it was very impressive the way White Wolf, they were controlled in the early game. We talked about how in the first 10 minutes there wasn't really much happening, but then White Wolf, even though Blitzkrieg was responding well to their mid-game plays, White Wolf, they were still the ones pulling the trigger. Eventually they get that advantage, and they ride it home for a pretty standard win.
So let's check out some stats. We all love stats here. Alright. Well, damage for a game that was equal most of the game, this isn't that surprising.
Yeah, sure. Overall, I'm extremely impressed with Tentacle. We talked about how being a sub coming in at the last second, how was he going to perform? How is the team going to mesh around him? But played very, very well on that Ahri.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll see. We'll talk a little bit more about what Blitzkrieg can do differently. See if White Wolf can get another game and move up in the rankings right after a quick break. Don't go anywhere.